In the grand kingdom of Aurea, where castles touched the sky and rivers sparkled like liquid diamonds, two princesses ruled in separate lands. Princess Seraphina, known as the long-haired princess, was a vision of elegance. Her golden hair cascaded down her back like a waterfall of sunlight, trailing behind her in waves of perfection. People in the eastern half of Aurea adored her, believing her long, silken locks symbolized wisdom, grace, and nobility. On the other side of the kingdom lived Princess Elara, the curly-haired princess. Her thick, unruly curls bounced with every step, framing her face like a crown of wild beauty. The western half of Aurea loved her for her free spirit, kindness, and unbreakable determination. But for years, the two princesses had been at odds. Their rivalry had begun as mere whispers among their people. Long, straight hair is the mark of true royalty, Seraphina's people would say. No, curls represent the spirit of a real leader. Elara's followers would counter. What began as a debate over beauty soon became a battle over everything: who was the better ruler, who was more beloved, whose part of the kingdom thrived more. Resentment built like a storm cloud between them, and soon, it was no longer just the people arguing, the princesses themselves had grown cold toward each other. One day, a mysterious letter arrived at both palaces, sealed with an unfamiliar crest. To the princesses of Aurea, it read: "Your rivalry has divided the kingdom, but the time has come to prove who truly deserves the crown. A challenge awaits you in the enchanted forest. Only one will succeed, and the winner shall be named the true ruler of Aurea." Neither princess could refuse. They both wanted to prove themselves. At sunrise, they met at the edge of the enchanted forest, each dressed in their finest battle gowns. Seraphina wore shimmering gold, her hair braided elegantly. Elara wore deep blue, her curls bouncing wildly in the wind. Neither spoke as they stepped into the forest. The first challenge came swiftly. A deep river blocked their path, its waters swirling with magic. A rickety old bridge stretched across it, but it looked ready to collapse. Seraphina hesitated. "This is dangerous. We should find another way." Elara scoffed. "We don't have time to waste. I'll go first." She stepped onto the bridge, confident. But halfway across, the wood snapped beneath her. She gasped as she fell, only to be caught by Seraphina's quick hands. For a moment, they just stared at each other. "You saved me?" Elara asked, stunned. Seraphina rolled her eyes. "Obviously. I may not like you, but I don't want you drowning." Together, they carefully crossed the river, supporting each other. Further into the forest, they encountered an elderly woman struggling to gather firewood. "Please," she pleaded, "help me. I am too weak to carry these branches home." Elara stepped forward first. "We don't have time for this." Seraphina, however, hesitated. Something about the woman's frail frame reminded her of the kind nannies who had raised her. Without a word, she bent down and gathered the wood. "You're wasting your energy," Elara muttered, but watched curiously as Seraphina carried the heavy branches to the woman's small cottage. The old woman smiled and, as she did, the wrinkles on her face smoothed. Before their eyes, she transformed into a radiant fairy. "You have passed the second trial," she declared. "For kindness is the truest mark of a ruler." Elara frowned, ashamed she had been so dismissive. As they neared the heart of the forest, the sky darkened. A monstrous shadow loomed before them, a great beast with glowing red eyes, standing guard over a golden crown resting on a stone pedestal. A deep voice echoed, "Only one of you may claim the crown. Prove your worth." Without hesitation, Elara leaped forward, her curls flying as she grabbed a sword from her belt. Seraphina, however, held up a hand. "Wait." Elara scowled. "What now?" Seraphina took a deep breath. "What if this isn't about fighting? What if we're meant to do something different?" Elara hesitated. Her instinct had always been to charge ahead, to prove her strength. But what if Seraphina was right? Instead of attacking, they stepped forward together, hands raised in peace. The beast's eyes flickered, then softened. Its monstrous form melted away, revealing a noble guardian. "You have chosen wisely," the guardian said. The test was not about who is stronger, but who understands unity. With a powerful gust of wind, the crown split in two, forming two identical tiaras. "One kingdom, two rulers," the guardian declared. As they emerged from the forest, side by side, the people of Aurea were already gathered, anxious to hear the results. But when they saw both princesses standing together, each wearing a crown, they gasped. "There will be no more division," Seraphina announced, her golden hair shining in the sunlight. "We will rule together, as equals." Elara nodded, a smile tugging at her lips. "Because true strength isn't in how we look or who is better, it's in how we stand together." The kingdom erupted into cheers. From that day forward, the long-haired princess and the curly-haired princess ruled side by side, not as rivals, but as sisters in leadership. Their people learned that beauty was not in hair or appearances, but in actions, kindness, and unity. And for the first time in years, the kingdom of Aurea knew true peace. True leadership is not about competition, but about compassion, understanding, and unity. Strength is not in proving yourself better than others, but in standing together and lifting each other up.